Hi, today I'm going to make sauerkraut in my 1 gallon crock. I'm starting with 3 heads of cabbage, 1, 2, and I've already started chopping, but we'll go over this in a little bit. The first thing I have is a special crock. It's called a German fermentation crock, and it has a little moat in it so that when you place the lid on with your water seal, no air or bad bacteria can get in. So this is 1 gallon. I need just plain purified water, white vinegar, and pickling salt. Some of the utensils I'm going to use are measuring spoons, a kraut masher, because you want it to be mashed in there really tight, cutting board, knife, and these weights come with the crock, and I'll show you how to use these. It holds the sauerkraut down underneath the water. Now we're going to go through the process step by step. We're going to go ahead and clean the cabbage real good, taking off some of the outer leaves, leaving some big chunks of leaves because we're going to use that on top of the sauerkraut as we pack it and start chopping the cabbage. I cut the heart out right here. That's the heart of the cabbage, the core. And then I just start slicing really thin. After I chop each individual head, I put it in the bowl, just like this. It's all shredded up. And what I'm going to do is take 2 tablespoons of white vinegar and sprinkle it on. And 2 teaspoons of the salt. And then I'm going to massage it into the cabbage so it starts making its own juice. I just take my hands and you start rubbing that salt into the cabbage and it starts to break down into cabbage juice. And then I'm going to stuff this into my crock. I stuff each cabbage head individually and smash it down. Once the cabbage starts to soften up, it takes about 5 minutes, so I massage it for about 5 minutes. I get my clean crock over here, and I just start putting the cabbage into the crock in handfuls. And 2, I don't know if I need to say this or not, you want to make sure your hands are clean. You don't want any unwanted bacteria in here. And then I get my kraut masher, and you just start pushing down on it. You want to pack it in here really tight. And I usually get my husband to help me do this because he can get some muscle behind it. This also breaks down the cabbage and starts it making its own juice. We have it all packed in here nice and tight. We have 3 heads of cabbage in our crock. It's packed down below the rim because that's where we're going to put our weights. What I usually do is I save a cabbage leaf and I clean it off and I kind of tuck it down in here, folding it under the rim, just so the little pieces of cabbage don't think they can float up and they'll all get fermented. I put my weight in, and that tucks under the rim as well. Here's the other side. This holds the cabbage below the water line. See? And then I'm going to start pouring my water in. And you just start pouring. It's going to take a little bit to soak to the bottom. I'm going to add more water until it's at the very top. And I'm going to clean my moat so that there's nothing in there. I have little cabbage pieces. That looks good. I'm going to fill this up with water. I have my lid cleaned. I'm going to go ahead and put this on. Sometimes I get it a little too full. It's supposed to float. And this is supposed to keep water in it. So this crock is going to sit on my counter for 2 weeks, and you want water in it at all times. The lid's going to go crooked and it's going to start burping because all that gas that the fermentation creates is going to start coming out of the lid. Before I place it where I'm going to put it on the counter, I get a plate and I line it with a paper towel and I go ahead and sit this in the plate. Because it could make a mess on your counter when it does start to burp, water could get on the counter, so I want something to catch it. Putting it on the counter, this is where it's going to sit for 2 weeks. 2 whole weeks. Do not open the lid. It's very tempting, but don't do it. You know why? Because you'll introduce bacteria into the sauerkraut that you don't want in there. You want good bacteria, not bad bacteria from the environment. 2 weeks. So I'll see you in 2 weeks.